The printer in the accounting department has halted all printing operations. The print queue displays 7 pending jobs. What is the most appropriate next troubleshooting action? A. Send a test document to the printer and prioritize it at the front of the queue. B. Restart the printer's spooler service. C. Install an upgraded edition of the printer driver. D. Clear the entire queue and retransmit the print tasks. The print spooler software is in charge of both storing print tasks and forwarding them to the printer. If the print spooler malfunctions or ceases to function, none of the print jobs will make their way to the printer. An IT administrator plugged in an external USB drive to a computer to move certain files. Upon starting the computer, it attempts to initiate the boot process from the external drive and displays an error message. What is the most effective method to stop the USB drive from triggering the boot sequence? A. Alter the computer's BIOS settings to prioritize booting from the internal hard drive. B. Adjust the boot sequence within Windows Disk Management. C. Reconstruct the master boot record, MBR, on the external hard drive. D. Deactivate the external drive through Device Manager. The sequence in which the computer selects its startup source is controlled within the system's BIOS settings. To prevent the computer from trying to boot from an external storage device, you can prioritize the internal drive to have a higher boot precedence. A new multifunction printer is consistently producing garbled text when a specific user sends print jobs, while other users are not experiencing this issue. What is the most probable cause of this problem? A. The printer driver is set to require secure printing. There might be an issue with the network cable. C. The print driver is configured to use PCL, printer command language. D. The application used by the user may lack printing permissions. The page description language chosen in the printer driver should be compatible with the language supported by the printer itself. If a device sends print jobs to a PostScript printer using Hewlett-Packard's PCL, printer command language, the printed output will be distorted and difficult to read. Several years ago, a network connection was set up in a conference room, but there is no record of where the cable leads to. When a device is connected to this cable, it successfully establishes an Ethernet connection, suggesting that the opposite end of the cable likely connects to the wiring closet. Which tool would be the most suitable option for locating the other end of this network connection? A. Network cable tester. B. Signal tone generator. C. Electrical measurement tool. D. Cable termination tool. A tone generator is employed to generate an analog signal within the cable, while an inductive probe is utilized to detect and identify the signal at the opposite end of the cable. The network administrator has received a report about Ethernet switch ports experiencing erratic connectivity. What is the most probable cause of this problem? A. A firewall rule is hindering network traffic. B. An Ethernet connector has a defective crimp. C. There is an unusually high amount of jitter in the network measurements. D. There is a mismatch in duplex settings. Port flapping refers to a network interface that frequently switches back and forth between being connected and disconnected. While this behavior may occasionally be tied to software or firmware problems, it is typically linked to hardware issues. For instance, a defective cable or connector can lead to sporadic connectivity problems and result in an Ethernet port that continually flaps. After turning on their computer, the user encountered an error message that says, "Operating system not found." Upon inspecting the system, it was confirmed that the SATA drive cables were correctly connected. What should be the most suitable next action for troubleshooting? A. Attempt booting in safe mode. B. Consider replacing the boot drive. C. Explore the option of restoring from a verified backup. Examine the presence of removable drives. Should a USB, Universal Serial Bus Storage device, be linked to a computer, and if the BIOS, Basic Input-Output System, prioritizes examining USB devices ahead of the primary storage drive, it is possible for the operating system not found error to manifest in the presence of certain USB devices. To prevent this error, you have the option to alter the boot sequence in the BIOS or simply detach the USB device while the boot process is underway, reattaching it after the operating system has commenced running. A user is encountering a problem where the battery of their smartphone is swelling and causing the screen to visibly separate from the device. All other functions of the phone seem to be working as expected. What would be the most appropriate course of action for troubleshooting this issue? A. Turn off the phone and get in touch with customer support. B. Update to the most recent operating system version. C. Swap out the screen. D. Perform a factory reset. A bulging battery is a clear sign of battery damage and poses a potential risk of causing a fire. To ensure safety, it is essential to power off the phone immediately and have the damaged battery removed by a professional smartphone support technician. The laptop of a customer seems to initiate the boot process as usual, but the LCD screen remains blank. Upon a more thorough examination, you observe that there is some output on the screen, but it is extremely dim and difficult to discern. What is the most probable reason for this problem? A. Video card. B. Inverter. C. Video driver. D. Power adapter. The inverter is responsible for supplying power to the cold cathode fluorescent lamp, CCFL, backlight of the liquid crystal display, LCD, enabling clear pixel visibility on the screen. In contrast, modern laptops typically utilize light-emitting diode, LED backlights that operate directly on direct current, DC power, without the need for an inverter, ensuring efficient and straightforward display illumination. A graphics designer has encountered progressively slower file access times on her hard drive. She diligently backs up her data daily. What would be the most effective course of action for addressing this problem? A. Conduct a hard drive diagnostic. B. Initiate a Windows reinstallation. C. Restore data from the daily backup. D. Boot the system in safe mode. To effectively address this issue, it's advisable to first acquire additional details about the problem. Conducting a hardware assessment will help ascertain the integrity of the hard drive itself. Once it's established that the hard drive is functioning correctly, the focus of troubleshooting can then transition to evaluating the operating system and software components. What is the most probable content typically stored on an optical disc among the options below? A. A collection of documents. B. Files necessary for starting an operating system. C. Data related to RAID parity. D. Configuration settings for the BIOS. An optical disc, like a DVD-ROM, digital versatile disc, read-only memory, offers the benefit of ample storage capacity and the convenience of write-once capability, ensuring data permanence without the risk of unintentional erasure. Storing documents in various files is a frequently encountered application for optical discs.